Super Bowl again on the NFL Network. Uh, this last Super Bowl where the Chiefs won it. And what's weird is these games, you go back and watch some of these games, they look a lot different than what you remember. Because we all remember the Chiefs winning and the Chiefs were dominating. The Chiefs were not dominating that game. The Chiefs were losing the game until like 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and then they scored like 3 touchdowns in a row and ended up winning that game. But it's so weird when you go back and watch old games, and of course the ending is always the same, but the game plays out a lot differently than what you remember it, man. So I like the old games. I seen the Raiders Super Bowl 18 was on the NFL Network, and it was John Madden and Pat Summerall calling the game. So I had to leave that on. But ESPN has been pretty dead. They still do their shows. I still seen Scott Van Pelt's show on, but he's just interviewing people now. There's no highlights to show. I seen one highlight. I wouldn't call that a highlight though. It's kind of a low light, but Van Pelt had on some old people. I mean, actual old people playing some game in a wheelchair. I'm like, oh my God, man. You guys have sunk to a new low. You're watching old people wheel around in wheelchairs, and they were trying to pick up a bunch of balls. They had like a bunch of balls thrown on the floor, and they were trying to scoop them up. I'm like, Jesus, dude. Y'all would never give this a shot. So coronavirus has changed the landscape of everything. Sports, politics, entertainment business, where I've just seen this recently. I have not seen this before. Where they're offering you movies that are on at the theater. They're offering that to you for $20. So a movie that's out at the theater now, you can get that online for $20, and you can show it on your TV at home, which is kind of cool, for me, because the only time I go out to theaters anymore is when there's a kid movie on, just because my daughter, who's 6 years old, wants to see it. But yeah, it's for those of you who you get, obviously some of you have lost your jobs. You get a little bored sitting around looking stupid at home, and you want to watch something new. You got an opportunity if you can afford it, $20. But don't count on that stimulus package from the government, because it's been held up in the Senate. Leave it to politicians to hold up money for people who are in need, because they don't care. All right, they're rich, so they're not worried about you. They're worried about their political careers and still trying to do whatever they feel that people are going to donate. Not worried about their constituents, just the appearance. Whoever's donating the most money to their campaigns, that's who they're trying to please. So that's still going on. The stimulus package. I don't like the stimulus package. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think you should just be giving away $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 to everybody. People are not gonna. Some people are not going to be responsible with that and just do what they need to do. They'll be buying weed and beer. You know what I'm saying? You want to pay somebody's bills, pay their electric bill, their gas bill. You know what I'm saying? Pay their cell phone bills, internet bill. Give them some food stamps and some toilet paper. But just giving people $3,000, man, is probably a bad idea. I hate to say this. I know there's a lot of people out here like, dude, shut up. What the hell are you talking about, man? Come on. But, I support Bernie Sanders, even though it does not look like he's going to get the nomination. What's going on right now is socialism. You know what I'm saying? We're in an emergency and we're asking the government to bail us out. And every time something like this happens, remember the government bailed us out back when the mortgage crisis, and the banks, the Wall Street, they their value dropped to nothing, and they needed a bailout from the government. The government bailed them out, so now everybody wants a bailout. So, but that's socialism. That's what everybody who's against Bernie Sanders is saying that they want right now. After this is over, then they would go back to hating the government and saying, I wish there was less government and the government should get out of our business. But, wanting the government to bail you out, pay for everything, this is socialism. And we're going to take a little break, and 30 seconds. 30 seconds, and we'll be right back after this. All right, we're back. The state is shut down, and nobody's supposed to be out except for essential businesses. I'm not exactly sure. Some of these businesses, I'm not exactly sure what that means, because of some of these businesses that are still open, like T-shirt printing business. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not exactly sure how that falls under the category of essential. Some of these business owners are just refusing to shut down. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I guess if you're putting someone else's health in danger, you should shut down if you're not essential. Got to shut it down for 2 weeks. That's how you'll get past this virus. You got to not infect someone else for 2 weeks, and you'll get over it if you have it. Your body will create the antibodies it needs to get past it. So don't be stubborn. Shut her down if you're not essential. To me, the only people that really are essential is like police and firemen, hospital workers, medical workers. They're essential. Not even really everyone should go to the grocery store and get what they need for 2 weeks. It's just 2 weeks that they're asking you to shut it down. It's not like you got to be barricaded in your COVID-19 bunker for months. It's just 2 weeks, people. Let's not get carried away with the crazy buying of toilet paper and paper towels and bread. I thought everybody was afraid of bread, by the way. I thought it was, high carbs, why everybody buying bread. I went to Kroger's and to Walmart, and I seen there was a lot of bread gone from the shelves, except for like raisin bread. That's like the best tasting bread. If you want to get some bread, why not get the raisin bread? I seen bagels were still there, so nobody is binge buying bagels or raisin bread. But bread is full of carbs, man. I thought you guys were afraid of the carbs these days. Is that over with or what? So we're in an unprecedented time in our history where this coronavirus is basically spread across the planet. Even though on the surface it doesn't seem like that terrible of a virus. It's not as bad as Ebola, or they say it's, but I think the problem with the coronavirus is that it spreads so easy, and you could spread it to someone who, you might not have symptoms, but you spread it to someone who has a compromised immune system, or that person is 70 years old and you kill them by touching them with your hand or coughing into the air, and it gets, in their eye or something crazy like that. But it's not only you. So those of you who are strong and you'd be like, I'm not worried about the coronavirus, you got worried about passing it to someone who's not as strong as you are. Even if that person is not old, they could have a compromised immune system. So we'll get past this. But I want to move on. I want to move on to something that is not COVID-19 related. It has nothing to do with the coronavirus. These are just some things that I wanted to talk about. Usually I would talk a little bit about politics or a little bit about sports or entertainment. But everything is sort of leads back to talking about the coronavirus. And we have to talk about the coronavirus, but we don't have to talk about it the whole show. So I don't hate the coronavirus. I hate what it's doing to our society, but I don't hate talking about it. I don't care really, if that's what we need to talk about, that's what we need to talk about. So I'm cool with the coronavirus. Or I'm not cool with it. I don't want it, and I don't want to pass it. But just should have been handled differently, that's all. But anyway, in sports, it seems like Kevin Durant has tested. I don't know if I've said this on the last show. I don't remember. But Kevin Durant had tested positive. He's an NBA superstar for the Brooklyn Nets. They moved to Brooklyn. Was the New Jersey Nets. But Kevin Durant has tested positive for the coronavirus. So, and not only that, but the Olympics has been postponed. They're not going to cancel the Olympics, but they're postponing it. It's supposed to, the Summer Olympics are supposed to start, I do believe, in July. And they're going to push it back. They've already said they're going to push it back. So I don't know how far they're pushing. But it's an Olympic year. So they said the Olympics will not be canceled. It will be postponed. They're going to push it back, and hopefully that we've gotten far enough past the virus, the spreading of the virus, the concerns of spreading it, so that they're going to continue on with the Olympics, because they like to have people in the crowd. They like to have some spectators at the Olympics, not just have it on TV and having everyone watching it from home. So there's something else that's changed. So far the NBA is not decided to continue their season, although they just said it would be, postponed 30 days. So they haven't come back out and said anything yet. So far the NFL has not made any changes except for the